Beneath your smile, the world folds into something quieter, something less gilded but more golden. In its curve I find an invitation, not to flee my crown, but to understand it differently. Not every kingdom is carved in stone or signed by decree. Some are hidden in glances, offered in fleeting warmth between two uncertain hearts. You never bowed to me, yet I've never felt more honored than when you looked at me with nothing but truth. They teach me to stand straight, to speak with clarity, to rule with reason, but you teach me to feel. You teach me that behind every royal word must live a tender breath, and behind every duty, a choice. I never knew that one person's silence could echo louder than my entire lineage. Beneath your smile there is no Spain, no monarchy, no cameras, only me, just a girl who loves, a girl who waits, a girl who remembers the way your hand trembled just once, and how that single moment has governed her ever since. There are palaces of marble, and there are palaces of memory. Yours is the latter, etched not in cold stone but in the warmth of afternoons we dared to steal. When I sit at banquets, dressed in silk the color of dusk, I think of the simpler hues of your eyes, untamed, unread, unapologetic. I have seen politicians smile with precision, nobles bow with flair, and citizens cheer with ceremony. But your smile is neither forced nor rehearsed, it is real. And in its honesty I lose my royal poise. If the world knew how easily you disarm me, they would ask who rules whom. My father speaks of responsibility, my mother of restraint. Yet you speak only in glances and half-said things. And still you teach me more about my future than all the advisors in Madrid. There is a throne beneath your smile, not one to ascend, but one to rest upon. And in this quiet coronation, I find peace no crown has ever offered. The gardens know our secret, they bloom differently when you are near. The same roses that once crowned the heads of queens, now blush softer when you pass. We do not speak openly, but nature is a witness. Do you remember the olive tree under which we first sat? I remember the way you bent slightly, plucking a small fallen leaf, and placing it in my palm like it were a jewel. You said nothing, I said less. And yet that moment is a volume I still read, when silence swells too loud. You see, I do not love you as a royal, I love you as Leonor, the girl who cannot always carry the weight of destiny, but finds herself carrying thoughts of you more easily than breathing. The girl who prays not in cathedrals, but in the hush of your absence, hoping it turns soon into presence. No one understands how someone can be both air and heartbroken. But beneath your smile, even heartbreak feels like a crown, I would wear again and again. They tell me to prepare, for treaties, for travels, for times where I must stand alone. But no one prepared me for you, for the way you make the vastness of my future feel smaller, manageable, as long as I walk toward it with your memory beside me. When we met I thought you were temporary, a beautiful diversion from a life dictated by tradition, but now I know, your presence was not a pause, but a beginning. I walk halls built by dynasties, but my footsteps echo with your name. Every time I wave to a crowd, I wonder if your eyes are somewhere among them. Every time I smile for cameras, I ask myself if it resembles the one I wear only for you. Because that one, oh that smile is a secret smile. It holds stories that no journalist can uncover, no historian can archive. It belongs to you. Just as my hopes, my poems, and the softest parts of me do. Beneath your smile, I have built a future I dare not say aloud. Sometimes when the castle falls asleep and silence dresses the halls like velvet, I light a single candle and write your name in my diary. No title. Just your name. It is enough. It is everything. That name has become my refuge, my rebellion, my reminder that even a princess has the right to love privately. There are poems I write that I can never recite, not because they are shameful, but because they are too sacred. I have seen wars fought over land and lies, but if anyone ever tried to take your memory from me, I would fight too, with ink, with silence, with the unyielding truth of what lives inside me. They will never understand how you, someone without noble blood, have become the most regal part of my story. You once told me I should not lower myself for love, but don't you see? In loving you I have risen. I have found parts of myself that were buried beneath duty, and in you I have found my most honest mirror. I remember your hand brushing mine, not in full grasp, just the ghost of contact. It was enough to rewrite my entire day. In that instant, the lineage in my blood, the protocol in my steps, all ceased to matter. I was not thinking of succession or ceremonies, just you, just the warmth of that almost touch, the whisper of skin that left me breathless. My tutors speak of sovereignty, of legacy, of influence. But how do I explain that influence is not only in politics, that the curve of your smile sways my will more than a parliament ever could? I sit through royal briefings, nodding, speaking, nodding again, but my soul is elsewhere entwined in thoughts of you. It feels treasonous sometimes, to love someone so quietly and so completely, yet if this is treason, I will wear it like a badge, not because I reject my heritage, but because I finally understand it. Love, not power, is the true inheritance, and beneath your smile I receive it fully. In public, I am a symbol, a promise, a future, but in the privacy of my mind, I am yours, entirely. I replay our conversations not because I forget them, but because I fear a day when they become distant echoes. You always spoke to me like I was human first, royal second. That is a rare gift. Even rarer is how you listened, not just with ears, but with presence. And when I hesitated, uncertain whether to speak or stay silent, you waited. You never rushed me, you let my truth arrive in its own time. That is love, I think. Not always flowers and fire, but patience. And your patience has become the foundation of my faith. I believe in us, not as a fantasy, but as something real, perhaps inconvenient, but real nonetheless. In another world, another time, I would not need to guard my feelings behind etiquette. I would write your name in the sky. But for now, I etch it into every breath. And beneath your smile, I find eternity. I walk through cathedrals with stained glass saints, and still, it is your reflection I look for in the light. You are not divine, but you make the ordinary feel touched by grace. You are not royal, but your presence commands me more than any crown. They ask me what kind of queen I want to be. I answer with conviction, strong, wise, fair. But inwardly I whisper something else, loved. Loved as you love me, freely, quietly, without demand. I have seen lovers in the history books, trapped between duty and desire. I understand them now, because my desire is you, not just your hand in mine, but your presence in my life's rhythm. You are the pause in my speeches, the tremble in my poise. And even if I must go on without you in form, you are now a forever inside me, a lighthouse I return to, again and again. Beneath your smile, I remember that queens are also girls, with hearts, soft, aching, and endlessly loyal. There is a photograph of me they circulate, smiling, serene, sovereign. But they cannot see what lies beneath that composed expression. They do not know that I am smiling, because I remember how you once tucked a strand of hair behind my ear and whispered, "You are allowed to be more than what they see." That single moment saved me more than once. When expectations feel like armor, your memory becomes a silk ribbon I tie around my wrist, invisible to all but me. You are not a ghost, but you haunt me in the gentlest way. A living presence in my quietest decisions. When I choose kindness over cleverness, it's because of you. When I choose silence over spectacle, again it's you. I wish you knew how much of my strength is borrowed from your smile. That beneath your smile I have learned to breathe without apology, to lead with softness, to rule with feeling. And if one day they write of me as a queen who loved deeply, let them know I learned it from you.